Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
We're back. We're back at a Daytona show. It's been a long time since we've come here. We're going to, I just want y'all to see just how awesome this show is. It's an amazing show. I'm going to give you the history and all this later on, but it's the first time we've been back in, I don't know how long, 15 years or so. There's all kind of venues and all kind of fish and tackle and all the companies and I'm just going to go from table to table. We'll give you an overview of it first, and then we'll a lot of old friends I've already seen. It's just great to see them. So let's just go along with me. Folks, the first person I found, and this is a guru, this is a godfather of tackle collecting, Bill Stewart. How are you, buddy?
Fine, thank you. Good to see you again.
This is one of the first guys we ever met, and he's
It's been a long time. It's been 20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So I want to do a quick interview. Okay, we're going to talk back. We'll get back here in the corner. All right, we're going to go back here in the corner. We're going to sit down with Bill Stewart because seriously, folks, I admire this man and what he's done in the tackle industry and the collectible industry. And Bill, just tell the folks a little bit about it. Where are you from?
I'm from Bartow, born and raised there. My dad was born and raised there, so I've been there a long time. The family has. My grandfather actually went there in 1897. But
You're a true Florida cracker.
I am a true Florida cracker. And got interested in fishing tackle a little bit. Back, I fished all my life. But Mr. Eager gave me a couple of seconds out of his second box.
So you actually got to know Mr. Eager.
Oh yeah, he was in the Rotary Club with my dad.
Yeah.
And he had an open house in his new plant, and he forgot to invite me and two others, and so we got our dads to impose on him to give us a special tour, and he did, and it was nice. And, so I've had those, and one of those was put in the museum in this permanent loan that we did for the Eager Company very recently, back in August.
Yeah. So you went, okay, now, all right. So then you had, what about your bait company and all in Bartow?
I started a museum. I had bought Bagley Bait Company in Winter Haven, not in Bartow.
You bought it from, okay, you brought it
From Jim Bagley.
from Mr. Bagley.
That's right.
Okay.
And there was room that was unused, and so I started to put a fishing museum in there. And I wasn't putting a collection in there. I was just putting, well, I call it museuming. And I would go all over the southeast and talk to people and ask them if I could borrow that or borrow that, and they all just said, sure, take it with you. And I gave them a colored receipt. A receipt with a colored picture, and that was the smartest thing I ever did.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I did get to send some of them back, I would have never found the things if I hadn't made a color picture of them. But the museum was there, and I ran for about 10 years, a little over 10 years. And in the process of doing that, I sort of got involved in the collecting bug.
You got the bug.
That's right, I did. And since then, it's just, I devoted myself to Florida lures.
Yep.
Primarily. And we've written 6 volumes. It's about that much.
Yeah.
On Florida lures so far, and we've got more people on the list that we haven't written about than we had when we started. And they've just grown, sort of like rabbits.
And I remember going to the museum, the first thing I saw was that world record bass
Right.
replica there. Tell us about that.
Well, it was, I had seen one someplace, and they told me that there was a guy in Georgia that made them. And he did, and he actually copyrighted them, which I find hard to believe, but it is a copyrighted item. And so I went and bought one, and bought the case that goes with it from him.
Yeah.
And then he delivered it to me down here.
Yeah, of the world record bass that was caught.
Yeah, and he's still in we gave him the museum.
He's at a museum.
Yeah.
How'd you like running the Bagler Bait Company? Was it a big job, or was it enjoyable, or?
It was a bigger job than I wanted. You didn't get any time to fish. But it was an interesting experience.
Well, you know what fascinated me when I got into it, I got a little bit after you, it was a fascinating collection made in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And we had some amazing,
We did.
we had some amazing people.
We did. Amazing, and lots of them.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
By the time we get through, we'll probably have written over 500.
wow.
And
They don't, I guess you borrow a phrase, they don't make them like that anymore.
no, they don't.
And that's why a museum, if you'd had a vision to start that museum
Right.
back when you did, I appreciate that. I know our viewers appreciate it because that's a wonderful place to save our history and our heritage.
Yeah, and that led to the book. And I think some people are surprised that the book it's all xerography, high speed xerography that's made on it. And it's a 3-hole notebook.
Yeah.
But we looked at it as a notebook from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that we can add to it or take away from it.
Yeah.
I think there are either 2 or 3 stories that we've completely rewritten because we just had it wrong. And I've never minded saying I was wrong. I just never had it bother me. And we probably had 10 stories that we've added to.
Yeah.
And we've probably got another 10 we're going to add to.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Give us a quick insight of what kind of man Mr. Eager was, because he was highly successful when he made those Eager baits originally.
He was. He was an engineer, air conditioning engineer by trade. He worked for Armour in South America.
Wow.
And he was basically working on their chilling for beef.
Okay.
And Armour was a big beef producer, probably the biggest in the world at that time.
Yeah.
And South America was one of their sources. He started probably in about 28 or 29 making these lures, and he was a German by background. He was very frugal. You could hear a dime squeak when he hit it to somebody.
Yeah.
But he just had this idea of making the lures. He tried to do it simply. The first, I guess, 6 years, the first 6 years he made them, they were in a shed behind his house.
Wow.
And that caught fire and burned. And so they opened this new plant out on the highway.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting to go through and see everything that was done.
I bet that was amazing
Yeah,
in
it
those
was.
days. And he hired some of the local boys to catch some frogs.
Yep. But practically everybody that worked in the plant were local girls.
Uh-huh.
And most of them are high school graduates. Most of them never went to college. But he trained them about the importance of going to church on Sabbath, of tithing, of saving their money
Wow.
for retirement. And that was sort of, and he talked to them like a Dutch uncle. And
That's great.
it was great.
As you look back on it, what's been some of your most rewarding times in collecting old fishing tackle and all?
Oh, I just think all of it has been very interesting. To do the research and find out about the families.
Yeah.
And there's some of them that we still don't know anything about. There are a lot of them. I just had a meeting with Joe Yates and Frank Carter,
Yeah.
trying to figure out. I gave them 10 people each to help me find
Some homework.
That's right.
That's cool. Well, I want to thank you again for just having the insight of getting all this started, and Florida Antique Tackle Club
Well,
helping on it.
my pleasure. I've enjoyed all of it.
We appreciate the hospitality you gave Tim and Linda and Gail and I when we came down to stay with y'all that weekend.
And just the fellowship. I don't
Yeah.
really come to the shows to buy or sell. I come to the shows to see people and visit.
That's right.
It's just good to see them again.
Well, this is Bill Stewart. Now, honestly, to me, he's the godfather of collecting antique tackle in Florida. So, okay.
Driest 18-foot boat bait.
Okay, we're going to start just showing some individual collections. This collection here is Florida Metal. It's an outstanding collection put together by Frank Carter of Tallahassee. He's done a great job collecting, great display. Really nice Florida Metal. There's a Captain Action. Now that's actually bought out by, made up in Tallahassee and Quincy. A friend of mine bought that. And then on down here, we'll get into some Georgia metals.
He'd rather have me do it, so as long as you're not asking me dates, we don't care, either one of us, so you just.
I can store that.
Right there, at museums.
Okay, ran an interesting fellow I met years ago, but this is Chuck Hedden. Hey, Chuck.
Listen,
good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you again.
Now that's Hedden, as in the Hedden fishing lures. Okay, this is one of the descendants. So tell us what your connection is to the original Hedden family.
Well, James, the founder of the company, was my great-grandfather, and Will, one of his two sons, was my grandfather. The other brother was Charles.
Okay, so that was up in Dowagiac, Michigan, and everybody knows the legendary story. Tell us briefly what you heard as a family member, how he started getting into fishing lures.
Well, he supposedly was waiting for a friend of his to go fishing on the mill pond in Dowagiac, and he was idly carving on a stick of wood, and his friend came and he threw it in the water, and a bass hit it, and the light went off, and this supposedly is the way he came up with the idea of attaching hooks to a wood, a piece of wood, which became the plug. And then we all know how that evolved. There were many fishing lures before that, but they were metal or flies, for fly fishing.
Yeah, this was the first wooden one.
Wooden plug.
Yeah, the rest of the story, of course, is American heritage, American legendary stories. Mm-hmm. And he got busy on it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And
they took off like wildfire, actually. And of course, there were many detractors with a three-prong hook on there. There were many people that thought that was unsportsmanlike. But no, it took off. They were selling, I don't know, a million lures within just a few years.
That was incredible.
Of going into business.
Wow, and they were catching fish to eat too.
Yes,
that's basically what they're catching.
That's what they were for.
Yeah. And then he went on and put the wrinkle finish and all kind of just neat stuff.
Well, that was to catch the fishermen.
Yeah, and all kind of stuff. So I know it's really neat to keep the Hedden name going. And now you live down here in Florida.
Live in Longwood.
In Longwood, yes. Florida. And we've met before at fishing lure shows. I just wanted our viewers to meet a real live Hedden here. And we're going to talk in a little bit. We're going to talk about the Hedden Museum with some other folks. But so good to talk to you again. So good to see you again.
Good seeing you again.
All right.
What a great interview that was.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, those are
Good to have an audience.
Oh,
A little applause over here.
You
ever hear the sound of
piece of wood and water and fishing.
I think that's the same.
No, you ever hear the sound of one hand clapping? The office. It looks like it.
Got staples all in my head.
You don't need to share that. It hurts even worse when you tell me.
Yeah, it's feels
We always try to bring down some displays. we always try to bring down some displays to show people what we do there and tell the story.
All right, I'm with another fascinating person I've met. This is Joan Lyons. Joan, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
I thought she just sort of helped run the head of the museum, but you found it. You helped
My
start it.
husband and myself were actually requested to start a museum.
On James Hedden, on the fishing of James Hedden
Yes.
lures. Okay,
The-
tell us briefly about it.
All right. The James Head and Sons Fishing Tackle Company started in Dowagiac in 1902, and they were there until they left in 1984 from being bought out. So when they left in 84, they just abandoned the building because they couldn't find anybody to buy it, so they gave it to the city. The city couldn't find anybody to take care of it, so it sat there. Now, my husband was born and raised in Dowagiac, and we live 4 blocks away. So every day he had to go to work, he had to pass this building. And it kept disintegrating and deteriorating. And because of his knowledge of history and his love of the town, we personally bought the building in 1991 to restore it so it wouldn't get torn down as a health hazard and utilize it for our own purposes. And in 1994, a family friend came to us and said, "You guys own the factory. There's an older gentleman in town who's 82 years old who used to work for Hedden for a long time. He's got a lot of Hedden things. He wants to sell them. Once he sells them, they're gone. And once they're gone, the history is gone." So he said, if you can buy his collection and set aside a portion of the factory, I will donate my time and show you how to start a museum to save the history for Dowagiac.
Oh my goodness! So that's how it started.
That's how it started.
Wow, it was just meant to be, wasn't it?
Yep, it was strictly a community service because
Yeah.
Don and I grew up fishing. So when we were asked, we said, well, we live in a restored old house, we restore old cars, we both grew up fishing.
Yeah.
We like history. Oh, why not?
You are natural. Yeah, it would fit right in. Well, tell us some of the highlights of the museum. I'm going to tell you right now. I've already added that to my bucket list. I'm going to come up there
Okay.
and visit y'all.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. So tell us a little bit about it.
We have over 3,000 square feet in the old office area of the factory. And we try to tell the story of all the things that James Hedden did and the factory as it grew from James Hedden and Son to James Hedden's Sons to James Hedden's Sons. So you got to remember those 3 things because they had 3 different names. So we have a wall of lures starting from 1902 to 1984 showing everyone that was made. Well, at least everyone at the time that we knew that was made.
Well, and when you talk about old fishing tackle, the signature name is James Hedden's Son. I mean, that's
Yes.
he's the one credited with doing it, and that's for y'all to make a museum out of it instead of letting it fall apart. That's so admirable, and
Well-
that's just wonderful.
Well, we like history and we're proud of the town.
So you come down to Daytona, just bring you some of the stuff to help support the museum.
Yes, this is a fundraiser for the Hedden Museum.
All right, tell our folks up here in the Florida Panhandle how they can get to the museum.
Well, we are in a little town called Dowagiac, which is in the lower southwest corner of Michigan, about halfway between Kalamazoo, Michigan and South Bend, Indiana. We have a website, heddenmuseum.org, which can show you pictures of the museum and show you what we do and give our address. So you just put it in your GPS, give us a call, make an appointment, and come see us.
Okay, do you have certain times you have it open, or you sort of?
We have very minimal hours because we're a small town, and as I like to say, you need to want to come to Dowagiac to find Dowagiac. So mostly it's every Tuesday evening and the last Sunday afternoon of every month, and other than that, we say call us. Make an appointment anytime, day, night, weekend, weekday, doesn't matter.
All right, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great to meet
Thank
you.
you for doing this.
All right. There's some random collections here.
Frustrating to not be able to give it.
A lot of eagle baits, a lot of smaller baits here. Now, a lot of collectors are localized, and this collection here is from Ocala, Marion County. All these were made White family, the Price family, different times. All these have one common background. These guys could fish and they made their own lures. Here's the frog collection. There's all kinds of different frogs. You know what? Frogs are great bait. And different kinds of sporting goods memorabilia. These are some old magazines. 20 cents a piece. I saw one for a nickel earlier. Okay. Alright, here's a Forest and Stream magazine from 1920. Beautiful. Here's one from 1927. Forest and Stream. Here's a later one. And then it turns into Field and Stream. Field and Stream here. Field and Stream here. They sort of merge together. Field and Stream. That's some cool stuff. Okay, I had to buy this for my grandson Mason. Mason decoys back in the day.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.